Hey guys, what's up? We're working on the Camaro today. I got a problem with it being that I am so tall, over 6 feet, 6'3", and it's always been a problem, and that's why the seat is wrinkly, because when I recovered it, unlike the other side, we did not fix the springs that were broken or replace the foam, and that was because of my height issue. And I wanted to be comfortable driving my car. That's why I put a tilt column in here and power steering, power disc brakes. But anyways, I put in these seat track extenders, so it's basically just like a piece of U-channel that bolts into the stock position and moves the seat back, as you see, 2 inches. So seat being back further is nice, and my legs are great, plenty of room. No issues there. However, still have a problem with the shifter. So far, such a reach. I mean, putting it all the way there, I have to like fully stretch out my arm, my shoulder, and like lean forward. So this shift lever is pretty much, I mean, it's pretty straight up. So what I'm going to do is, I already took the knob off and cleaned this old Hurst rod up with some Scotch-Brite or SOS pad. SOS pads, if you didn't know, are awesome for chrome. They polish it up really nice, get rid of any paint or overspray, corrosion kind of built up on it. And you can see like the bottom of this where I didn't clean it, a lot, probably half of the bar looked kind of like that. And you know, of course, if there's rust totally eaten into it, then it's not going to come back. But I mean, heck, that thing looks pretty darn good for a 25-cent SOS pad and a little cleanup. And this rod came out of a car that was sitting for over 40 years, so I know this is about a 45, 50-year-old shift lever, and it was also sitting outside. But this one's got quite a bit more kickback on it, and should be just perfect for what I need. So I can finally cruise comfortably in this thing. So I'm gonna get on taking this shift boot off, and gotta take this retaining plate off first, and then I think there's another plate, and then the boot can come off. Kind of a pain, but it is what it is. So let's go. Alright, so I got these 3 screws out of here, and we can try to get this bezel off here, trim plate, whatever you want to call it. Just kind of gotta push the boot out through it. Right, so see, you got 3 screws on this is a, you know, factory non-console and a 67 Camaro. Of course, any other hot rod is going to be different. And then we got pretty much on every car, though, you're going to have 4 screws around, either on the edges or in the center like this one is. So pull those off, and then we can take the boot, that retainer, and see what we got next. If you've ever done this before, kind of dealing with carpet or whatever, it can be a real pain trying to find these holes again and get them through there without latching onto the carpet loops and tearing it up, pulling lines out of it, kind of like that. It's not too bad, but yeah, can definitely be much worse. That's where having a console is nice, because you can just kind of like cut this whole area out and easily access everything. But let's see, here we go. And that's what we're left with. Sweet little hole, and you can see you got these two bolts here, one upper, one lower, both should be a 9/16. And when you pull them out, you got a retaining plate on the back side here, which is threaded, so like a nut, but holds both bolts through the handle. So you just want to usually try and take the bottom one out first, and then you can like hold on to that easily and get the top one out and slide this lever right out, throw the new one in. Let's see what we look like. Checking the fitment, see that we're gonna have some gains here. Okay, so got it off. Those are bolts, backing plate, and the lever. I'm not sure that I'm going to get the amount of angle I'm looking for here, because as they are both bent completely different, they don't end up too far off. I mean, the new one is obviously a little bit kicked back, but not very dramatic. So I may cut and re-weld this thing at the bottom, just so I can get the more angle out of it. So I'll bolt it on right now and just see how it looks, see how it feels from there. Okay, so I lost the clip here where I put the shift handle on and checked it out, and it wasn't what I needed, so I decided to cut it down and at the same time cut the seat brackets down as well, the risers. And I've done this before on a '69 Camaro. It turned out great and gave me the headroom that I needed, so I decided to pull these ones off and do the same thing. Take about 3/4 of an inch out of it. Next, we need to pull these bolts. You got 4 of them here. If you get 2, you gotta slide the tracks back and get the other 2. We'll pull them off and start cutting. And honestly, I don't remember how I judged getting it exactly in the same plane again after you cut it down, because you can see that they're curved a bit. So I'll probably just line the tracks back up in the car and make sure that everything sits right to tack it and go from there. We got the brackets out, and what we're doing here is, instead of messing around with the car, I just brought the car to the floor. That way I can just line these right up with the mark I made on the floor, and after I cut them, I can just go ahead and line everything right back up on there, do my tacks, and make sure it's all good still before I weld it in for good. Cuts here, and next I marked it out, and we are going to cut off 3/4 of an inch from each side, and keeping all my pieces separate so I don't mix them up. And so once we get that 3/4 off there, everything should be pretty darn even, close enough, and get to welding. Seat brackets are done, and I think they turned out pretty darn good. You know, I'm not going for show quality here. OEM, I just need to fit in the car. Two mistakes I made. One, forgot to turn the gas on till the very end, last couple welds, but and didn't stock up on black paint. And I like painting things while it's still hot, because paint just adheres so well and cooks it right on. But those should work. I'll go pick up some paint here in a bit, put them back on, and next we are all about fitting in this car today. So I already cut the shifter base off perfectly square, and then looking at the overall of the handle, I just kind of moved it to, you know, a few inches back of where I feel like would be comfortable for me, and marked it with the cutoff wheel just lightly until I got what I wanted. And I'm about to cut that all the way through. I can weld this back together and go for it. Also, you want to, if you do this yourself, keep in mind that these grooves are only on one side, so you don't want to flip that over and, you know, put it on the wrong side, or else your shifter can probably loosen up a little bit in the keeper there. So here we go. Good. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just fairly flat in the angle we want. Ta-da! Look at that angle. Man. It's gonna be sick. Or too short. We'll see. Threw a little fake aluminum paint on it where I welded it to keep it from rusting, and it's definitely, you know, kicked back quite a lot now. Hopefully it does the trick. And I did throw some primer on my seat tracks, sealer primer, so let that dry, and then I can paint them black, reinstall them, and take this thing for a drive, and hopefully it works out perfectly. I'm stoked. Glad I got all this stuff done. I kind of feel like sometimes I'm just procrastinating on these projects I don't want to do, and right when I pulled this front seat out, looked at the tracks, really didn't want to mess with it. But it's going to make the car a lot more comfortable for me to drive and more enjoyable. And that's what it's all about. So, hope you enjoyed the video and found any of this information useful and helpful for your own projects. And have a great day. God bless. Here's the finished product. All done. Shifter remounted, covered, seat bolted in. Everything went back just the way it should. Painted nice. And ooh, just all the way slid forward. Slide it back. Oh yeah. Super, super nice. Loving it. Shifters in. Forward. First, second, third, fourth. Reverse. Oh yeah. Can reach it with ease now. Way better. Seats down. Kind of lower. Feeling good. I like it. Everything clears good, even with these 2-inch slide back brackets. The only thing that usually you notice here is the seat cover. It does hit this seat belt cover a little bit, so it's tight, but hey, for the about 7/8 of an inch I dropped the seat, I'll take it.